Simple and plain. To be the best, you have to win. That's why I play the game.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lakers Exclusive, where we talk exclusively about Lakers basketball. In our last two videos, we did have a good look at the most realistic options for the Lakers moving forward at the point guard position and the shooting guard position. So we're going to continue that trend today and have a look at the best small forward options out there. And look, a lot of the players that I talk about in this video are listed at the small forward position in most NBA websites and basketball websites out there. But in reality, we do see them suit up at the shooting guard or even the power forward. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to keep them in the category of a small forward to make it easier for us. If you have been liking our content, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button to give us a jump start on this channel. And without further ado, let's get right into it. And I want to start us off by talking about a player who really intrigues me this offseason, who's honestly also flying under the radar, and that's Duncan Robinson from the Miami Heat. He's a restricted free agent, and the Miami Heat have to make a decision here. They have cats like Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Chris Dunn, Goran Dragic, and cats like that are all, expecting new contracts in the near future, and they have to make a decision. There's been talks that they want to bring in Kyle Lowry, who's a great fit for them. But if they want to bring in a player like Kyle Lowry, they're going to have to give up these young assets, and Duncan Robinson could be one of those players that they let go. So they have to really make a decision, and Miami's going to be a great watch this offseason to see what they do moving forward. But when I think of a player like Duncan Robinson, a player that really comes to mind is Klay Thompson, just in terms of how quickly they can catch and shoot and how much of a lethal shooter they are. Duncan Robinson can pretty much shoot the ball from anywhere in the court and shoot it at a high percentage as well. I think he's averaged about 42% from the three-point line over his NBA career. And if you put him alongside a player like LeBron James, who sees the floor like no other player has ever before, he's going to get wide open shots and hit them at a high clip. And I've never seen LeBron James, have such a lethal shooter, the likes of Duncan Robinson, Klay Thompson and that. And I just think, that's something that he's missed over his whole career. And I think if you pair him next to him and AD, it's a perfect fit and something that we really need. I keep harping on it that we need these shooters, but it's something that we really lack. So that's going to be a good watch. And if we can land Duncan Robinson, that's going to put us in a great position moving forward. The next player I want to talk about was a very underrated pickup by the Clippers this season, and that's Nick Batum. And the thing I like about Nick Batum the most is his versatility on the defensive end. You've seen him play for the Clippers in the playoffs, and he was able to guard the two guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the center in those small ball lineups very effectively. And he can also knock down the three ball at a high clip as well. And that's something that the Lakers just don't have. I mean, we do have Kyle Kuzma, who's, a good wing defender when he wants to be. LeBron James can defend. But in that small ball lineup, when we really want to score points, depending on our matchups, we just don't have that, that versatility on the defensive end that Nick Batum could possibly bring us. And he has a great ability to, get in front of defenders, block shots, and move his feet well on the defensive end. And I think if you bring him possibly on the bench or even a start, he's going to give us great minutes. And, he's just something that we just don't have at the moment. And that's something that I think the Lakers need moving forward as well. The next player I want to talk about had an outstanding year for the Pacers last year, and that's Doug McDermott. And he's just an all-around scorer. I mean, at the start of his career, he was sort of the next big thing in Chicago. Just an elite shooter. And then he sort of, slumped away. Hadn't really played well at all. And then last season, he came onto the scene again and really balled out well. He's just lengthy as well, 6'7". He shot about 38% from the three-point line last season, and he's just a scorer, as I said, and we lack scorers. We lack people that, can step up to the mark when our superstars are out, and Doug McDermott, you put him out there on the court, and he can make things happen, and that's what we need. So I'm looking at Doug McDermott for his length and his shooting and his all-around scoring ability. I think he'll be great for the Lakers moving forward. It's just a matter, obviously he played well last season, and he's going to be looking for some cash. And whether or not the Lakers can afford him this season, that's something that we just need to see, but he's also a great option. There's also some old heads out there that are going to be free agents that we could possibly bring in, maybe off the bench, in Andre Iguodala and Trevor Ariza, both coming towards the end of their career, but what they are and have always been is elite defenders. In Iguodala's case, he's also a good playmaker, doesn't shoot the three ball well, but he's very much a player that we can possibly bring in. He can give us valuable minutes, guard the other team's best player and just be, you know, an experienced head out there for us. In Ariza's case, he shoots the ball at a decent rate, and he's also a good defender who also has a lot of experience. So there's some possible options there that we can bring in just to bring out experience and help with the camaraderie of the team. You know, anytime you can get players like this with lots of experience on a cheap contract, you can't go wrong. Another very intriguing player to look out for is Otto Porter Jr, who's out there on the market, and it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, how all the teams in the league look at this player because, you know, obviously he's had a lot of injuries over the past couple years. I remember back when he played for the Wizards, and he was just a great 3-and-D player who's very lengthy and can shoot the 3-ball at a high clip. Over his career, I think he's averaged about 40% from the 3-point line, which is right up there with the best in the league. And, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, can he stay healthy? If he stays healthy, he's a great option. But with the injuries, I just don't think, you know, he's obviously not the player that he used to be. But he could possibly still be a valuable player, you know, if he does stay healthy in the future. And he's honestly someone that the Lakers could lean towards. It's just a matter of, you know, how much money he wants, what other teams are willing to pay him, and obviously if he can stay healthy or not. There is also some young cats out there who are more defensive-minded players, you know, players like Derrick Jones Jr, Will Barton, Kelly Ibray Jr, who are going to be on the market. I think Derrick Jones Jr has a player option, and he's probably likely going to sign again on with the Portland Trail Blazers there. And also, Will Barton has a player option as well, and I expect him, with his injury history, to re-sign with the Denver Nuggets there. Kelly Oubre Jr is interesting. I think a lot of teams will be after him, though. I don't think it's the Lakers' best interest to sign him, but if all else fails, I think he could be a good pickup, but he just really struggles at the 3-point line. And we really need those shooters, as I keep harping on. So that's got to be interesting to see what those 3 young players do. And we also can't forget about our own Kyle Kuzma, who's been the talk of the town lately. He's been involved in trade scenarios since he even came to the Lakers. But I think this season may be the year that we trade Kyle Kuzma. I think he's already checked himself out. He's removed Lakers from the bio. He's talked openly about the inconsistent role and how he thinks he can have more of a consistent role maybe on a different team. And I just think, you know, it just hasn't worked. So I think you'll see the Lakers finally trade Kyle Kuzma. But if we were to keep him, you know, he has shown the ability to take a backward step and do what the team, you know, do what's best for the team, play a role that the team needs, and he has shown the ability to defend multiple positions. He's a streaky scorer. I just think the inconsistency is what, you know, the Lakers may want to move on from Kyle Kuzma. But at the end of the day, if we do keep Kyle Kuzma, it's not the worst thing that can happen for us because he's a young asset and there's always time to get better. But it's going to be very interesting to see what the Lakers actually do and what we can get for him. But to conclude this video, that's probably the most realistic options that the Lakers have to look at this offseason at the small forward position. Obviously, we have LeBron James, who's filled that position for the last couple of years. But because LeBron James is so great, he can fill multiple positions, pretty much play anywhere on the court. So it's going to be intriguing what we do at this position, you know, moving forward this season. And I do apologize if I've forgotten any players, but let me know in the comments if you want to see any other players on the Lakers or if you like the players that I've suggested on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you are liking the content and hit that like button to help us out moving forward. It's been your boy Jay from Lakers Exclusive. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.